Quick update on the Diddy trials, and if you ask me, it's giving prison. It's giving under the jail. I also want to take a moment to be biased real quick. If you do not think that this man is a monster in any way, shape, or form, then I think you're also a monster. Because that's how crazy this testimony has been. And if you want to hear more information, make sure you go to my YouTube channel where I'll be talking about it in further detail. So yesterday, Deontay Nash, Cassie's former stylist and one of her best friends, was cross-examined by the defense team. From what the people in the courtroom were saying, he stood 10 toes down and he ain't come to play with them. Okay, the defense team wasn't poking no holes in his story. The only thing from the cross-examination that I think might have added some color to his testimony was that he did verify that he tried to hook her up with Michael B. Jordan and other celebrities, and the defense team is trying to make the case that Cassie wasn't forced to stay and that she was able to move within her own free will, which we just know is not the truth. And then the next witness, who was referred to as Mia, took the stand, and she was one of Diddy's former assistants. Now, if you remember, before court started, it was announced that the victims would be able to remain anonymous and go by a name that is not their real name. But from what everyone in the courtroom is saying, it was so serious that they were not allowed to sketch her. No one was allowed to have phones out. No one was allowed to record audio. Everybody had to make sure everything was away. I also want to put out a trigger warning before I tell you what she testified, because her testimony was actually really hard for a lot of people to listen to. She alleged that he R-worded her several times within her employment that she could recall, and that there were more times, but she was just too traumatized to remember. One time was in his home where she said that he did not allow people to lock doors, and she was in her room sleeping because she had to be with him 24/7, and she felt his body on top of her and then described what he did. Another time was at his 40th birthday in a penthouse where he told everyone to leave the space that they were in, and he took her in the kitchen and forced himself upon her. Another time was on a private jet where she went to use the bathroom and he entered and forced himself upon her. Another time was in a closet where she was getting his clothes ready and he walked in and again forced himself upon her. Now, not only did she allege that he R-worded her, but she also said that there was a time where he slammed her arm in the door because he took her phone and there was messages in there that she did not want him to see. She also talked about a time where he allegedly pushed her in a pool. Yes, pushed her in a pool. She also attested to all of the horrific abuse that Cassie endured and talked about the fact that she was often responsible for taking care of Cassie after he had hurt her really badly. One of the craziest stories was one time when they were in Turks and Caicos. Cassie came running out the room saying, "Help, he's going to unalive me." They got 2 paddles, went out to sea, and then had to make a decision about whether or not they stay out at sea in a storm or go back to the shore and face Diddy.